Have a nice day.
This family story is weird, hidden away from the modern world in their old-fashioned home. I'll show you around. Fantastic mouse hunting here. When I say old-fashioned, I mean they go back a long way. A family legacy of tradition, invention, creativity, and courage. Their greatness passed down like their magnificent facial hair from generation to generation to generation. This is Tim, his assistant named Jane.
Shh, our parents will hear you.
And twin brothers, both named Barnaby. They're creepy.
Thanks, Barnaby. You're welcome, Barnaby.
Why are we staring at this wall?
Because, Jane, we are Willoughbys.
There's a clip there from the Willoughbys, available on Netflix now. It's directed by Chris Pern and Corey Evans. It stars Will Forte, Maya Rudolph, and Alicia Cara. And it's based off the book, which I have not read. And it's all about these young children, the Willoughby children, whose parents are really, really nasty. They don't look after them. They're not exactly the ideal parents. So they decide to try and get rid of them. Not through murder or anything like that. I don't think it would delve down that route. But they decide to create a brochure and send the parents off on this really dangerous world adventure where they're bound to be kind of eaten by bears or trapped up a mountain. However, things don't work out that way. In the meantime, when they are away, we have a nanny played by Maya Rudolph who takes care of the children and shows the children kind of what a parent should be and how the children should be treated. And I saw this Wednesday morning. I was a bit like Hamish, on the dot, early morning, just because the trailer seemed intriguing. You've got Ricky Gervais narrating it, who I like a lot, and he plays a cat, which I love cats, Joe knows, so that was great for me. And just the styling of it, it looks similar to something like Coraline, something like that, a very, very different style of animation, not like Pixar, not like Disney at all, something a bit like Missing Link from last year, which I loved. Joe and I both loved that film. I thought it was beautifully animated. So firstly, I thought the visual style of the film is really, really, it looks great. It really, really does. Obviously, it is a PG. It delves into some potentially quite sensitive subject matter about like parental neglect. But it does it in a way that I think works. It doesn't really it doesn't step on too many toes with that regard. The first 20 minutes, I've got to say, I was not liking it. I was like, tonally, this film has no idea what it wants to be. It's not for young children, because young children just won't find it very funny. And it's not really for teenagers, because I think teenagers will just find it too silly. So I was like, what is this film trying to be? And then when the parents actually do go away on this adventure, that's when I started to actually enjoy the film a lot more, when we have Maya Rudolph's character who comes in, and she was great in this. I thought she was charming and sweet, and she brought a sense of warmth to the film that the film really, really needed, because there was a point where it did feel really cynical for a while, and obviously you've got Ricky Gervais, who's kind of the most cynical comedian out there. He's very dry sense of humour. So I thought when she came in, the film just got a lot better for me. I thought it was 90 minutes. It flew by. I thought it was paced really well. I was watching it and I was thinking, critics are going to love this. It's just a critics' film. Audiences, on the other hand, I don't know. I don't know how they're going to take it. Like I said, the subject matter is strange at times. You're kind of like, where is this going? And the humour as well. I wanted it to be a lot more funnier. There's a scene where they're basically auctioning the house, and they're these like perfect family that come into the house, and they are hilarious. They're like, oh, honey, look over here. Oh, I love the house. And I wanted more of them. It could have just been a lot funnier with certain scenes. It felt like it was rushing a lot of the time. It felt like it was rushing to finish. And I think scenes like that, it would have been helpful if it just kind of like paced it out a bit better, because there are scenes that could be so funny. I enjoyed it. I thought it was fine. I left and I thought, okay, that was a nice 90 minutes that I didn't have to pay £16 for, which is a bonus. But as for young children, I don't know how they're going to find this. I think it's definitely a bit of a risk. But yeah, I enjoyed it overall. But Hamish, you've obviously seen it. What did you think of it?
Well, I didn't hate it, but I just thought it was really like scattered. Like there was so many different plot points going on. It sort of starts and it's about parents, and then something arrives and they have to deal with that, and then the nanny arrives, and then the house is being sold, and then this happening. and there didn't seem to be any like overall narrative. It just kept changing between different things. It almost felt like it might have worked better as like a series, like sort of short, like 10-15 minute episodes. But the same as you, Dan, I thought that when Maya Rudolph came in, it sort of changed completely. She brought a whole different like life and energy to it that it was definitely lacking beforehand. But I just sort of with that, it just felt very not unoriginal, but I feel like it was kind of like a combination of like the last 10 years of like animated films all sort of put in a blender, and like it came out because it sort of had vibes of like Hotel Transylvania and like The Secret Life of Pets and Despicable Me, The Addams Family. It just kind of felt like it was drawing a lot of inspiration from more other recent animations, and it didn't sort of stand out for me. It sort of just came like a jumble of all these other ones. But it wasn't awful, but I did struggle with it, and like you said, man, I can't really see young children engaging with it that much, and then so I'm not sure where the audience is for this.
Yeah, I'm pretty much the same on that, I'll be honest. I think on paper, and I was really disappointed by this, because on paper, it's got everything that I would want from an animated film. It's got that kind of Wes Anderson type kind of quirk to it from the trailers. As you said, Dan, rightly so, the animation is very kind of Laika-ish. So like Coraline and Missing Link, and it's a little bit more different compared to something that we usually see on the big screen, like the Pixar films and DreamWorks films. And also it's got that kind of Roald Dahl-esque kind of quality to it as well, which they actually reference in the film as well. They talk about James and the Giant Peach at one point. So clearly that is an influence. So on paper, I thought you blend Wes Anderson with Roald Dahl, which we know can work anyway from Fantastic Mr. Fox in the past, and kind of add that like animation quality to it. And I thought we were going to be in for something really surprising and worthwhile. And I sat down really excited for it. And then about an hour in, I realized I just hadn't laughed once. The urge to go on my phone was becoming stronger and stronger as it was going on, because I just didn't really care for the characters at all. And as Hamish said, it did feel very episodic. It felt like it should have been a TV series. And I did turn to my better halfway through and say, this would have been much better as a Netflix kind of 6-episode series. Obviously, I've not read the book, so I can't comment on the quality of the book. But it did leave me thinking that the book would probably be a lot better, and I would probably enjoy reading the book. But in terms of the film, there is just too much going on. And if they had kind of reined it in a little bit, maybe kept some of the plot points, I don't know, for like future sequels or TV shows, and focused on one particular plot line. So even if it had been a case of, the parents go on the safari, the tour, the world tour thing, and the kids run free around the house or whatever, that would have been fine. But like the half an hour you've got of that, you've got then obviously the stuff with the baby, the candy factory, which kind of disappears for 20 minutes, comes back, and I was like, well, where is this going? And then you've got like, oh, we're selling a house now, and that's for like 10, 15 minutes. And I just thought it was all over the place. I didn't really know where I wanted to go with it. And by the end, I just didn't care. I just thought, when it comes to that final moment of them being on top of the hill with their parents, I didn't care. I kind of knew what was going to happen, and I didn't really care about the characters. So I was left really, really disappointed by it, because I thought it had all the potential there. I don't think kids are going to take to it at all. I would not sit down my niece and nephews in front of this and think they were going to find anything worthwhile from it. To be honest, I can imagine they get bored very, very quickly. And I was bored too. There's not really a lot. I don't know its demographic. It's not really funny. It's colourful, it's bright, and the voice cast are great. But other than that, a real shame of a movie, I've got to say.